Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey.
This week, we are guided to follow our inner compass.
Hello, friends. Hello. And welcome to Bringers of the Light Sunday, where we are going to talk about the energies of the week ahead. Still reading from our in-progress book, Flying Potion, to see what comes out of our channeled chapter. And I'm going to bring in the Medicine Wheel Ceremony cards again. So let's get settled in together as I wrap us all in love light and light love. Inviting in the guides who overlight TLC for the soul, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, and a host of other TLC for the soul guides. If you missed the previous show, I uploaded a crystal, Reiki, and light language healing session. I'm looking at the dog for overwhelm and monkey mind, clearing thoughts that are racing around. So you can take a look at that. That is on YouTube and the podcast. We had some beautiful crystals show up for that healing, and that is timeless. You can use that whenever you need it. Feels very prevalent right now. We're in an eclipse sandwich, as it's called. So we had our first eclipse. I'm getting out my calendar. The full moon eclipse last Friday, Saturday, which was a couple of days ago. We also started Mercury retrograde. And this coming week, if you celebrate it, we have St. Patrick's Day tomorrow and the equinox on Thursday. So that day of perfect balance, be it the spring or the autumn equinox. So up here in the northern hemisphere, it's the spring equinox. And then on Saturday, the 22nd, we have the third quarter moon, all in a little countdown to the next eclipse, which is a partial solar eclipse, new moon partial solar eclipse, the following Saturday, the 29th. So we are in the midst of it, in the middle of it, and we've got Venus retrograde as well as Mercury retrograde. And today, when I'm recording this, we are in an all-day, what's called void of course moon. Whenever we have these voids of course moon, you can look them up, like on the moon cycle calendars. You can Google that, or some astrologers post. I think Jenny from Moon Magic Tarot sends every month sends an email with all of the moon phase voids of course and all that, because when there's a void of course moon, it's just like, it's very hard to kind of get things going. It's more of just a day to like go within, and we've had a lot of go within days since the eclipse. That integration time that's needed for those energies to settle. But what I thought we would do right now is, in the healing session, I don't know, did I upload that yesterday? I think I might have uploaded it yesterday. Maybe it was the day before. We burned some eclipse incense, so I saved that since today might be one of the last little integration days. And we'll burn the rest of this. It smells really good. A little bit more incense. We had a very big windstorm yesterday. My son was like, "Mom, the house is going to fly off," because the wind gusts were like up to 60 miles per hour. I was trying to walk the dog and we were like blowing away. So that has since died down. But it's a little cold outside. It was nice and sunny this morning, and I was going to wash my car in the driveway. And then it got all cloudy and cold. It's 20 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And so I was like, well, I guess the car wash is not happening either because it's too cold. Okay, so let's start with, rather than the story quite yet, because our work that we're working on together in the channel books, all of my ebooks are free to read. Apple Books, Google Books, Barnes and Nobles. If you like that, anything you hear here, we do a lot of little book series. The one that we work on mostly here on Sundays is called Bringers of the Light. That's you, that's me, that's all of us. And it's just some fun little stuff, fun little stories about our own Bringers of the Light, Rockaway Point, Tessa Locke. We've got some stories. We've got some other book series, the Shaman's Awakening series, Kyanite Fairy Wing series, and the Thunder Rose collection, and the Soulmate series out there now, and one nonfiction book, Eat Like a Lemurian. So soon we will be publishing the next, I don't know when Flying Potion is going to be finished, but I already have another book finished from the Bringers of the Light series, and probably in the next month or so I will be putting that out there as well. Also, there's a lot of books on audiobook that are free here on the channel, on the podcast, and on YouTube, and they're all in playlists. And you know, if you're in the southern hemisphere in autumn season, then a good little spooky one is the Moxie and Roses story. So you might want to take a look at that. I record them all myself. And let me just see here. All right. I record them all myself, so I feel like they're quite entertaining, but, you know, something to pass a good afternoon. I know there have been a couple of days lately where I've just been like, I just can't handle the energy. And I've had a couple of my favorite little audiobooks on repeat, not of my own, although I do like listening to my own stuff too, but a couple of others that I like where the narrator is very relaxing sounding, or I'll just like to have, you know, hear the voice in the background. But let's focus on what we can expect for this week ahead. It was a harrowing last week, a time of a lot of intense energy, and I feel like these last 3 days, even into this week a little bit, things are going to start picking up a little bit more on Monday. But I think towards the end of the week, I think there's going to be like some action, and then I think there's going to be another slowdown towards the end of the week with the equinox and the third quarter moon. But this is a little book about the medicine wheel, and it's quite significant since I live right down the hill from an actual Native American medicine wheel and burial grounds. They're just like a 5-minute walk that way up the hill. And so this book talks all about Native American medicine wheels and the different points on the medicine wheel and what they signify from the indigenous people's perspective, written by a couple of people who are studying that. Vicki May is from Salt Lake City. We have listeners, we have Bringers of the Light community from Salt Lake City. And let's pull a card from this and see what we folks need to know about. So it's a little book, but it comes with little cards as well. So let's see what our friends need to know about or be aware of coming up here. So I'm just going to get, they're kind of hard since they're like pieces of paper, but I'm going to close my eyes and see what do folks most need to be thinking about right now. Be aware of at this time that you're listening to this. So the thing that came out was the whole entire medicine wheel ceremony cards. Nature Graph Publishers, Happy Camp, California. Indian Creek Road. it talks about how to use the ceremony cards. So it's like an instructional little guide to, it's hard to see this, hold on. And then I'm going to show, it's like an instructional guide to the whole makeup of the medicine wheel. And I know from this book it talks about, like, if this is something you're interested in, you can actually make your own little, you know, you can visit an actual medicine wheel, but you can make your own little, like, portable medicine wheel, which I used to have set up, a little tiny one, and I had all the points on the grid, because all the points on the grid actually are significant parts of the whole entire thing. But the other card that came out with that, that's staring up at me right now, is card number 0, the Great Mystery. The medicine wheel is at the center. So this is also about how the medicine wheel works, the energy of the medicine wheel works from the center out. So, because it says the medicine wheel is at the center. The 4 directions surround the center, turning clockwise. The never-ending steps toward the center we all must take. 4 directions from where we begin, unmoving. The path always open. All we must do is enter to create. So I'm going to just take my finger and put it down like, what? What is this? Let me see. Great Spirit, center of all circles, center of all universes, center of all things, I ask you to hear my prayer. I am grateful for my earth walk among your wondrous creations. I make this offering in gratitude, in appreciation and respect to you, my creator, great mystery. And then you're supposed to offer up something into the middle of the medicine wheel. As my awareness expands, I feel the connection grow that was and always will be between us. I am one of your children, Great Spirit. A part of the center lives in me, as it does in all God's creations. So it's a little prayer. Keep me on the good path. All I need is to open my eyes and look, and to allow your love and guidance into my life. So this is the very center, and it shows a diagram, like the very center of the circle is where the point on the circle called the great mystery. And it says, go to this place on the wheel, go to the center for learning who you really are, the connectedness of all things. You are not alone. Patience, joy, love, peace, everything and everyone has a purpose. Everything and everyone has great value and guidance on any subject. And this is card number 3 and 4 on the back. 3, 4, maybe 340 is an angel number we could take a look at. I do find this interesting that this has come up today, because I wanted to do a scavenger hunt. We haven't done a scavenger hunt together in a really long time, because it's always like so serious, right? Stuff we have to talk about. And I was like, you know, sometimes these questions too, like I was just listening to, he's on Instagram. I think he's all over the place on YouTube and Instagram. It's called Buddhism in English. And he's a Buddhist monk from Sri Lanka. But the thing I was listening to today, and I reposted in my Instagram stories, was why do bad things happen to good people? And that in Buddhism and a lot of the Eastern spirituality, and one of the 8 noble truths of the Buddha is there is suffering in life. Not that all life is suffering, but that there's suffering in life, and that it happens to everybody. Not just good people, not just bad people. You know, that there's this level of suffering, and that's why we came. That's one of the reasons we came is, well, I don't know if we came because we wanted the suffering, but we came because the point of the whole gist of what he was talking about. I don't have his name. I don't know what this guy's name is, but he's always in like a Buddhist monk clothing. But the whole gist of it was we came and we experienced this suffering, and it makes us like more resilient and stronger as a soul and as a human being, having a physical, as a soul having a, experience in a physical body, it helps grow your resilience and your mental strength and your character, and your spirituality, which is part of it is having this connection to source and to great mystery. So even this medicine wheel coming out today, the cards, was a synchronicity for me because I was walking my dog this morning before I even thought about any of these cards, and all the snow has melted, and I kind of saw something in the grass, and I'm like, is that someone's cell phone? And it was like a little kid's plastic toy that looked, and it said something like little survival kit. And it was a compass, very much like the medicine wheel, which is also a compass for navigating these different energies and these different, the directions, and kind of for navigating our life. So I thought that was a fun synchronicity. What do we do with that? What do we do with this compass? What do we do with, this is crazy. I want my sounds to keep going, they keep ending. What do we do with that? I think I'm looking at something that says inner peace and calm, inner peace from calm, turbulent energies. So I would say then that the compass is like the medicine wheel, which all these things happen around us, and at the center of it all is great mystery or source or creator or God or whoever, whatever you want to call it, which also has been coming up the past couple of days in our daily shorts that I do on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, about continuing to keep your spiritual practice alive no matter what is going on around you. Because it's easy to get bogged down in the 3D reality. And while we have to be there to live our lives, at the same time, the spiritual connection helps balance things out and helps us, stay connected, and helps us with, our faith and our trust and our hope when things, are going either way. And I think the thing here too is, again, like the law of cycles, good times won't always be good and bad times won't always be bad. And when good times are really good, I think we can just be like, oh, everything's great. And we might just tend to be like much more in the 3D world because everything's fine. So it's like, oh, well, we can hang out there as much as we want. Everything's going great. Everything's going good. But when we encounter these, why do bad things happen to good people? Because I'm assuming that everybody that's watching, listening to this is considering themselves to be a good person. Then we can run into those, we can run into that, what's the word? Feeling like, maybe we're lost, or maybe we've fallen off the path, or fallen off the spiritual path, or maybe something's wrong. And I think this is confirmation that that whatever's going on in your world is just another like blip, some other blip in your life, right? The human life is very short, and there could be these periods of time, which to us seem like really long periods of time, that something's going on, when in reality, it's just like, when we take a step back, it's like, oh, that period of time in the overall scheme of things is this blip. And to not lose sight of, I think, the bigger picture of why we came and what we're here for during this time, in addition to just, this keeps coming up a lot too, living our 3D life, is we came here to help raise the consciousness of the planet. And, I think that is service work in and of itself. Being here right now, during this time on the planet, during this ascension to the new golden age, just being here and lending our soul signature to everybody else's that's here for the same purpose, I think is also, to me, is considered an act of being of service to source and service to humanity and service to the planet. And I think there's those times when you may feel like you're not really doing anything, or maybe you don't feel like you have a lot you can contribute at the moment to that whole ascension, pathway because of other things going on in your world. That's simply the act of just being here, again, is being of service. And you don't always have to try to push to be more than you're able to contribute at any given moment in time. So I want to also grab, let me grab, we used this the other day too. I want to get it's called the Women's Book of Soul, but I started calling it the Person's Book of Soul because I think stuff doesn't just apply to women. Meditations for courage, confidence, and spirit. Because we have the fairies come in a lot too. So I'm going to grab a little bit from here, and then I'm going to read the chapter from Flying Potion so we can talk about what's going on with the week ahead. So anything we want to know about from the Person's Book of Soul. Enjoying several seconds of bliss. Card number page number 158 and 159. I am thankful for the moments of bliss that bless my life. I stop often to enjoy several seconds of bliss. Although we may have extended periods of profound joy, most of our truly blissful moments are fleeting. We need to gather these blissful moments as we would precious gems and thread them on a memory strand to be lovingly caressed and remembered with gratitude. When used like prayer beads, each memory creates several seconds of bliss for our souls and a rendezvous with the divine. Take a little quiet time to think of or write down some of your blissful moments. When you have a list compiled, gently close your eyes and allow yourself to move into a calm, relaxed state. Settle down comfortably and imagine yourself transported to a fabulous room filled with every conceivable precious and semi-precious gem. In this magical space, there are also other treasures that fill your heart with a deep appreciation for their unique qualities. So it's like doing a little meditation and visiting each of these blissful moments on your little like prayer beads, kind of. Oh, that is so interesting. It's like prayer beads. And then the medicine wheel is also like a little prayer beads, the points on the wheel. So, not all life is suffering, right? We have those moments interspersed throughout our day, like where there's pockets of joyful time or pockets of time where you can just not have to think about other things. Pockets of time where you can get outside and enjoy the day. Although, I don't know if rain is coming. So let's get our chapter. And this is chapter, where did we leave off? We left off with Maggie Chalmers needing to go into some magic tank. And we are continuing with chapter 27, which is the coven takes on a cause. And Tamber goes in to deal with Maggie Chalmers. Maggie Chalmers is our dark agent of darkness, who is one of our antagonists to the bringers of the light. And Tamber and Dakar have been dealing with her. And what they end up doing is they wonder if this magic box that they put her in has any effect on her darkness at all. And we never really kind of figure out if it did, because Bringers of the Light HQ says they're trying to remove all darkness from the planet, and they downgrade Maggie to suspect status, and they give her, they tell her, you have to leave the planet right away, and you can't come back for a certain period of time. It looks like she can't come back until the next eclipse portals in September, which is interesting. Then Jakar starts telling her that dark agendas and factions are not allowed here at this time. So there may be some of you that are doing service work in the astrals to clear up dark factions, to work with dark agendas, to clear up dark holograms, I'm hearing. Dark holograms. And to remove those off planet in whatever way you're guided to do based on what angelic forces you may be working with. So each archangel and their band of angels has different ways of removing dark energy from the planet or transmuting dark energy. And so it seems like maybe under the covers, when you're astral traveling or asleep at night and your soul is out and about doing soul work, more dark energy is being removed. Because you can't delete energy. You can only transmute it or move it somewhere else off. So if it's not being transmuted, it sounds like it's being removed off planet. So that's quite interesting. So let's drop into the latter part of chapter 27, which talks about, this is where we're going to get our metaphors for the week ahead. So you can choose to listen to this as just a fun story or as something more. Invite in your guides so you can see or hear maybe any metaphors that might be coming up that might apply to you in your week ahead. So this is chapter 27. The coven takes on a cause. With HQ business taken care of, Tamber could focus again on that coven meeting. Abigail had sent a group chat request, and everyone decided to reply with their availability. They would meet that afternoon and welcome in their guest, Mindy. Cauldrons bubbled, and each witch decided to whip up a potion of this or a tincture of that to bring as an offering. This is the second time we're hearing about offerings. Polly had decided on her favorite concoction, Polly-Aid. It was a cross between a healing elixir and a mood enhancer. She felt that with the bright spring weather, everyone could use a little refresh. And as an offering, she was thankful that things had been quiet about town. No weird happenings and no murders. No one creeping about trying to put a wrench in things. Yes, energies were stable, and it was a good time to look forward and decide what the next project might be. Scratchy, who's her familiar and also her is in love with her, shape-shifted into a cat. Scratchy couldn't care less about Polly-Aid or projects. He was there to sniff out mischief and help bring it to justice. Cat that he was, he felt that something was calling him from beyond the beyond. Oh, he gets these calls from beyond the beyond quite a bit. And he was determined yet again to figure it out. He looked back over his little shoulder at Polly in the kitchen and let himself out via the cat door. He'd start in the deep pine woods with the elves and get a sense for what they were thinking. If he had his way, he'd have it all figured out very soon. And then maybe, just maybe, he could rest for a while. Or there was always that business about shape-shifting back again and into human form. But that would have to wait as he traversed the back alleys of Rockaway Point and made his way to the winding road that would take him past the moors and into Tessa Lock. So this might be one of those weeks where it seems like with the equinox, standard like a metaphor of things being in balance, things being okay, being right in the world. So maybe enough dark energies. I know Diana Cooper talks about us reaching a tipping point in terms of the percentage of souls that are awakening on the planet right now, and that we're past the 50% mark for human souls that are awakening right now. So maybe enough, maybe we're getting closer to that. I don't know. Maybe we're getting closer to that, whatever that is. And I would say if there's any advice, it is to continue to visit that center of the medicine wheel, which is the source energy center. Offerings can also be, offering up offerings can also be about gratitude and joy. And I believe when we try to balance out any quote unquote suffering or sadness or lower energy with those blissful, joyful, happy times, then we also are bringing ourselves into balance and trying not to stay, either way, I think, too much of anything. Maybe it's not a good thing. And maybe that's why our planet balances things out the way it does. Maybe too much of anything. I don't know. It's something to ponder on. It's some of those existential questions, which brings me to our spirit guide of the week ahead. Let me see if there's anything more here. I do feel like Scratchy, being the divine masculine, he's out to... It's like while Polly and the members of the coven are whipping up potions and tinctures, which could be the divine feminine looking for ways to honor themselves and looking for ways to honor the earth and looking for ways to balance your own energy with healing elixirs and mood enhancers. You look up what that means to you. Is it something like a little herbal happy tincture or like a flower essence maybe? Is it nice in the springtime to make a little flower essence? While the divine feminine is doing these little intuitive creations, I would say, I guess at this point, Scratchy is our divine masculine in feline form. And he's going out there to sniff out mischief and help bring it to justice. And I think Scratchy is still trying to figure himself out. I don't know. I think the divine masculine here is still trying to they have this, something's calling Scratchy from beyond the beyond. Something's calling the divine masculine into action. And again, I would say everybody here that's listening, that's of divine masculine, is an awakened divine masculine. It's like something's calling the divine masculine into action, but they don't quite know what it is yet. What is it that we're being called to do? What action? And even your own inner divine masculine, what action are you being guided to take? Because these calls from beyond the beyond, it's like something's urging us forward, but from what we've got in this chapter, it's like we really don't know exactly what that is yet. So this week ahead might still seem a little ambiguous in areas where we're trying to figure it out. And I feel like that's all part of this eclipse sandwich. Until this other eclipse happens, this bookend, I feel like we're in the middle of this bubbling cauldron pot. And I don't know where where are we going to land at the end of all this. I'm going into April. I'm going into, what's next? Is it Aries season coming up next? I think it's Aries season coming up next, which, let's just check the dates on Aries season. March 20th. Oh, it starts on the equinox. So there. March 20th is also the beginning of Aries season. So we did say, with these retrogrades happening, I think it's just hit or miss in terms of, I don't feel like we're yet to this steady action. It feels like a lot of stop starts. So just pay attention to your own inner compass. Compass. Pay attention to your own inner compass. Continue to seek guidance from your guides, from angels, from whoever you might work with, because a lot of shaman, when I hear a lot of shaman talk, like Sandra Ingerman, she's really only, she's had the same power animal her whole entire spiritual practice, for 30 years. So some people work, with one particular guide their whole entire life, which, hey, I think that's amazing. And some of us, pick and choose, or we have many different guides coming in. And I think right now I want to close out with the Lemurian Star Child. The Lemurian Star Child. Let's get a card from the Lemurian Star Child. See if there's anything else. Because these messages are very clear. Anything else to close this out for this week ahead? This balancing of energies. Aries season starting. This Indigo Child card comes out a lot. Indigo Child. Let me see if I can scan this. There's a QR code on the back. Inspiration, heart, dialogue. The related category is journey. I embrace the divine power of the indigo color, knowing that I can move mountains. I initiate each step within my heart in full source alignment. And this talks about being a parent of an indigo child, which maybe some of you are, or maybe you feel like you're an indigo yourself. Dear one, do you feel like you're on a mission to change the world? If this is you, then you've been placed within the 3D system for specific reasons, some which might be beyond your current understanding. If you are wondering what your purpose is on earth, attune to your heart to uncover the next step. You might be called to go to certain places, meet people, start a new business, build a community, inspire people, organize ceremonies, or bring people together that are from different walks of life. As I rise above magnetic distractions, I shine my vision of light and truth powerfully and peacefully. I'll let you look at that card one more time. And I think we're going to go ahead and close this out for this Bring to the Light Sunday. I want everybody to know that I'm here. I hold some holding space for you. I know there's some of us that talk a little bit offline, and I see you and I hear you right now, and I hope that whatever offerings we have here at TLC for the Soul, you take full advantage of those. If you're feeling, like you need a little bit of an extra pick-me-up, the dailies, I think, are the daily things that we do are very inspiring, I think, to people, and I know you guys tell me that those are very helpful to you. And then use the channel as well, either on the podcast or YouTube, as like a little oracle card. When I'm not around and I haven't posted something in a while, close your eyes, go to the videos page or go to the podcast, scroll with your finger, put your finger down, and you will receive a message or guidance or advice or motivation that you might need on your journey at this time. Take a look if you're interested in our free ebooks, in our Redbubble merch shop. We have some fun Bringers of the Light merchandise. And if you like any of the cards that we use during the daily shorts, then those are available in my Game Crafter store. And I'm also available for personal sessions if you want to take a look at my Ko-fi page, or you can email me for more information at the show's email at the bottom of the show notes on every episode. I want to thank you so much for joining me here, and we will see you all again soon. Have a great week ahead. Take care.
This episode has been brought to you by Buns and Such, Tessa Locke's premium bakery and workout bar. Visit anytime during the week and enjoy a free mini workout session and chocolate-filled donut. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you again soon.